God's upside-down kingdom operates differently than the world's. In God's kingdom, the last will be first, and the first last. And James tells us, in his common sense way, that the scales we're to use are based not on how much money others have, or how nice their clothes are, but simply on the golden rule: you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
I grew up in New York, in Harlem. We lived in the projects. Growing up, I was one of those kids on free and reduced lunch. Grew up, some people would consider it poor. I mean, I've eaten my share of Spam and Vienna sausages. I didn't think I was poor because I was around a lot of people that loved me. And we literally lived like 100 yards from the Boys and Girls Club. And my brother and I went there every day from when I was 7 till I was 13 years old. So the Boys Club for me at the time was first time playing pool, playing ping pong. I could probably build anything out of those popsicle sticks for art class. But more than that, you were put in front of people that cared about you, that loved you. And I still remember those people. I was the first person in my family to go to college, graduated from Jacksonville University, and then started an advertising agency. And then I worked for the city of Jacksonville for a couple of years. During my stint at the city, I learned about the Boys and Girls Club again, kind of re-engaged myself with it. And then one day I get a call out of the blue that the Boys and Girls Club was looking for a CEO. And right then I knew that that's where God wanted me. And I'll never forget, I went to that interview, and because of my advertising background, I had this beautiful portfolio done with all my great accomplishments. But on the front, I had this picture of the South Queens Boys Club. It was a black and white photo. And I just talked about that club and what I did and what my experiences were. I never got to get to the inside of the book. I've been at the Boys and Girls Club now almost 8 years. It's just been an unbelievable ride. I mean, we started with 12 clubs. Now we have 50 clubs. We've planted 6 churches in our Boys and Girls Clubs here in Northeast Florida and 1 in the country of Panama. You know, we feed 5,000 kids a day in Northeast Florida, a hot meal and a snack, and none of them know that it's a free or reduced lunch. It's just a meal given by people who love them. Well, when I look at James 2, it talks about not showing partiality from poor people and rich people. And I've been on both sides. I get to walk in both worlds. And, you know, I see a lot of wealth and abundance, and I see a lot of poverty. When I look at rich people and poor people and think about how God views them, he doesn't look at how much money that they have. I think he looks at how much faith they have, that gift of faith. And it's not all your money. I mean, you might say that under your bank account, but how are you helping the kingdom? How are you helping advance the kingdom? I grew up Catholic, poor, and the biggest thing that's happened in my life that's forged me into what I am now is this church. From day one when we came to this church, it was totally different from what I've ever experienced before. Every step along the way, whenever I took a next step, or I joined this group and I go on a mission trip, they were all like markers as far as this is what it's about. It's people going through life together, following Jesus.